Alrighty, gamers, we are back for another Dokkan tier list. Once again, joined with Galeriot. Go ahead and say hey.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Mi amo Trocho.
Perfect. Okay, ignoring that, so Defenders of Justice tier list. Videl's category she released on Global, like, what, a week and a half ago or something? So before we get the cool categories from the Navic celebration, we're just, getting this one out of the way. So, we're going to start with our S plus tier, explain why we think they're there, then we'll do our D tier, and then we'll move up from D tier to S tier. So yeah, let's talk about our S plus. The first two units are obviously going to be Videl and Gohan. I don't think there's much argument for them to not be there.
No, I have one.
Okay, well, it's wrong.
Yeah, that is true. It probably would be.
What's your argument, huh? Super simple.
I mean, no, they don't have any good... Videl doesn't have any good links on the team.
Hush.
Am I wrong?
Anyway. Okay, she doesn't have good links on any team.
That is true. That is very true. Apart from Peppy Gals. Peppy Gals, actually, she would be decent on.
Same with, like, Gohan, but they're still god tier
yes.
in their own right.
Yes, I know. I'm just memeing, by the way, guys. Don't worry about that.
Nah, he's serious. He hates Gohan. He likes Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken better. But anyways, the next pair of units we have is actually... You listen, you're close enough. We have Jiren and Topo. Only if you have Topo. Topo is very tiny compared to Jiren, but, it's fine enough. But yeah, Jiren is really, top tier, powerful unit, and you do have Jiren on this team to help him out. Unfortunately, not the God Topo, but Topo is still gonna, help him out a ton.
I also think, even though obviously LR Jiren, it does... Obviously, he doesn't necessarily require in Topo, in my personal opinion. I think he's still strong. I mean, he gets 200% attack on defense just off rip, right? I think that makes him strong alone on this team. He's still a great option just as a, if you don't have any other support or anything, he can still work as a floater. However, I agree, like, in Topo will just make him that much better. So yeah, I think those two deserve to be in the S plus tier just because of that. Plus, along with that, we'll still keep getting more and more Universe 11 units down the line that will go into this list.
Now, for the last three units we have the support Gohan. Where is he? I have lost track of him. Here he is. Yeah. So this guy, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. He's just kind of god tier everywhere. Same with this Gohan, also god tier everywhere. And a recent EZA LR addition to this team. That's also pretty god tier on this team. They're just generally very good. And
one thing you have to remember with that Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 are especially phenomenal on this team because there's no extreme options anyways. So everybody on this category gets a buff from their super class allies key +4 and 50% defense, I think it is, support ability, which is really good. So yeah, you can't not have them up there, and especially their EZA. Yes, they haven't been made like god tier, like smashing out like 6-7 million attack stats, but they're still extremely strong.
Now, moving on to our D tier, first we have this Gohan. I believe, like, what, he's just like attack 80% performing super attack, I think, if I remember correctly on him.
Yeah, something like that.
He's like super painfully basic. No defense, just kind of whatever. Cool art. You got tier after EZA, hopefully. But then next up we have both of these trunks. It's for, pretty self-explanatory. They're both pretty mid.
I think we can pretty much, say that most of the D tier units, I mean, we can just keep slapping them up there as we go along. Is that a lot of them, you'll notice, were made either back in 2017, 2018, or are units that have recently gotten a Dokkan Awakening, but are free to play and rely on other units in the category, but of a specific category. So for example, let's look at that STR free to play Videl, right? She's a recent Dokkan Awakening, I think back in 2019 with the Gohan and Goten, I think it was. But the biggest issue with her is that she relies on movie heroes, which this category lacks quite a few of them, unfortunately. So as a result, a lot of these units just don't make the cut to the higher tiers just because of their outdated abilities, as well as just the fact that they rely on units that aren't on the category. So you add that together and you get an R D tier, basically.
Yeah. And then for C tier, slightly better, but not by much. This Maron, Trunks, and Goten is a solid-ish free-to-play option. They unfortunately lose attack and defense every turn, so that kind of hurts them a bit, especially in long events. Like never running them in a long event, like 2 turns, and yeah, that's about it. They're okay. It's a Gohan, same situation. Like, he's okay. Goten was far and away the best EZA from that batch.
Yes.
Goku and Gohan never actually really had much use, unfortunately.
Outside of chain battle.
This unit, they're a special pose unit support, which you do have on the team, but like not a ton. Like, you have Jiren and Topo, but they're probably going to be their own rotation, and you have better support options like the free-to-play LR, so they're an okay free-to-play unit.
You'll see some more as we go along the rankings as well. I mean, even that Gohan at the top, the 2 Gohans at the top are a great support option, so yeah.
Then we have this Gohan and Videl. They're a similar situation to Meron, Trunks, and Goten. They lose attack and defense every turn because Akatsuki just has to nerf free-to-play unit in some way.
Yep.
So yeah, C-tier units aren't like completely garbage, but there's better options you would probably want to run.
Definitely.
And then speaking of complete garbage, but still somehow better, Dispo.
Yeah.
His EZA was so bad. I don't know why they thought that was a fine EZA for him.
And remember, this EZA came out with God Topo's EZA, and then it's like 2 completely like extreme ends. One being extremely good, one being extremely poor. I mean, he's still a decent unit with all the evasion he gets and stuff like that, right? Still a very solid option in that regards, but like, he only gets 20% attack at the start of turn, and then he has to build up tremendously to get to a decent point. And along with that, he has evasion, so he's still decent, but he's not like somebody I would take into like a Super Battle Road or anything of that sort, because it's just too risky.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Now, this movie Gohan, he's really good, but movie support, and we have a total of, I think, 1 in the top row. I think Elegant Salmon 1 and 2 are in movie heroes, but
yep,
that's it. And they don't exactly need the support. He does have attack and defense when facing an extreme enemy, which is not often enough, so he's kind of just whatever, unfortunately. Now, this guy, actually really solid. I could see the argument for A tier. He's a really powerful free-to-play unit. He stacks. I've actually used him in multiple runs of stuff like LGE and whatnot. So I am a big fan of this unit. I feel he's B tier, but again, I could see A tier. Have you used him much, Gale?
Oh no, for sure. I've used him. I mean, the original LGE runs I used to do back when Trunks released, right? On global, as well as when the LG began as well on global. I think he was one of the significant parts of my team to get a no item run, basically. Him and I don't know if you're putting him in as well in B tier, I'm not sure, but Great Salmon 4 as well, right?
Yeah, the free-to-play counter unit. He's
not that one, the STR one. That's the summonable one.
Oh, STR one. Oh, wait, yeah. I mean, they're both going there.
Yeah, but we'll come on to the tech Great Salmon 3 in a second. But Great Salmon 4, another stacking unit. I think him and the Trunks were pretty much like key in our runs, especially to get a no item run, basically. So definitely very good options.
Yeah, and then do you want to talk about these two? Because I am actually not that familiar with the Super Dragon Ball Heroes units.
So yeah, Great Salmon 3. He's a bit interesting. Obviously his attack and defense is reliant on time travelers, which, I mean, there are far and few between in this category, unfortunately. But you do have options such as obviously Great Salmon 4, the Trunkses. It is limited, however, but he does have that ability to raise superclass allies attack by 25%. He can counter normal attacks as well. So it's a bit... He's there or thereabouts. I feel like he will inevitably get stronger. Of course, you do have other heroes units as well on the team, which we will come on to in a second as well. So if you can build a team around the heroes units, he's a phenomenal unit. And it's hence why he's not higher up in our category either as well, because he relies on those. He's kind of like Gohan in that regards, where he needs the time travelers units on the team to be of any use. Otherwise, he's just there. Whereas Great Salmon 4, on the other hand, I would say he's a bit better, obviously. He's a bit stronger in the sense he can stack, of course. Both attack and defense. His superclass allies keep +2 at defense 30%. His youth category allies attack +30% as well. So overall, he's a good support unit. Raises the attack and defense. The only downside to him is his start of turn is really poor with 50% attack and defense, which compounding with his FTP stats doesn't really help.
Yes. Now, for the rest of our B tier, we have this Gohan. He got his EZA like, what, a couple months ago or something, and he was pretty
Meh.
average.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this guy, he's good for a free-to-play unit.
Yep, just got his EZ on
got his
global as
EZA.
well. Yeah.
Like, he's not bad in any way. He's fairly solid, but I don't think he's better than what we have in our A tier, which, if we actually start out with that, we have this Gohan, who is all around pretty good, decent support unit. Not the craziest support unit, but
Yeah.
still pretty decent numbers he can put up. He came out with, I forget what band.
SSJ2 Goku. Into SSJ2 Goku and the Tech Majin Vegeta duo Dokkan.
Okay, yeah, and then it was like, Dabura
Dabura,
came out
yep.
with Vegeta, I think? Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, he was from that era. So, yeah, he's still recent,
Yeah,
still pretty solid.
The one thing I will say is that he is a specifically Superclass Majin Buu Saga, which of course Super is really irrelevant considering the you can see the category. It's completely filled with Super units, of course. The only downside to him again is like Majin Buu Saga. So it's like, again, similar to Gohan, but a little less so because there's so many Majin Buu Saga units that he kind of is fine being in A tier.
Yeah. Then we have Casserole or Carousel or whatever his name is. Just because Jiren is, you know, a prominent unit on the category, he's a stacker. He's free to play. You can rainbow him. He's pretty decent with Jiren.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just good. And then Krillin. Krillin and Skinny Boo. Pretty much one of the same. Unfortunately, no 18 on this category, but he's still solid anyways. If you had a really, really powerful 18, then I don't know, maybe S tier, possibly.
Yeah, no,
yeah, he's fine. And then we have the new Halloween unit that released with this Great Saiyaman and Videl.
Yeah.
There again, just fine. I don't think there's anything stand out about them necessarily.
They are the support unit of this category. They phase attack and defense for a turn, which is good. I mean, the biggest thing about them is that they're the support unit of this team, pretty much being defenders of justice category allies, key plus 3 attack and defense and crit chance 18%. So they're very solid. It's just that again they're free to play and they are at the end of the day not the best support unit on this team either, unfortunately.
Yeah,
still.
you have like a free to play unit. I mean, I guess they're also free to play, but you get what I mean. there's better options that you can run that are in a higher tier.
Yeah.
Now, for A tier into S tier, we weren't actually really sure where to place these guys, but they're the heroes units. As a rotation, they're all really, really solid. They're all really useful, but we struggle placing them in A to S. I feel like you can make the argument for S tier because Vegeto's really, really, really good, and the Super Saiyan 3 is just phenomenal defensive units.
Yep. No, kind
really
of
powerful. But I don't actually know where we want to place them in A or S tier because again, you know, this is Videl's team, completely dead support for Videl. Like she's not getting support from Vegito because he's what crossover and Giant 8 power. And she is neither of those, so
yeah,
you have his support there, but it's only really going to be that specific rotation if you want to run it. And then our S tier is every remaining unit. So Jiren, because LR Jiren, they link up decently well because you're just Jiren and you have Jiren full power.
I will also say one thing. People might be like, oh, he's so old and everything. I think I was running him in... I think it was the GTLG. I think it was because they had required us to use Universal Survival Saga or something like that. I think it was. And he's still really good. He's still defensively solid. He can take a hit for sure. I think that's obvious because he is about 3 to 4 years old now. But he's still strong, and I think he's capable of being an S tier. Once he gets his easy, I mean, it's not even a question. He has a very high chance of getting into S+. So, yeah. And plus, he has a chance to stun the whole... all the opponents on the opposing side, which is really strong in Super Battle World. So I think he deserves to be there.
Yes. Next up, S tier Kaba. That's pretty self-explanatory. Leader is S tier type. If you have Kaba, I mean, really, really powerful support unit. So, yeah. Then Android 17.
Great support unit again.
Yeah, he's pretty okay right now, but man, after he's here, he's gonna be absolute god tier unit.
100%.
I can't wait for that EZA. He's going to be so good. Then next up, we have this Gohan, who I believe your support unit.
Yes, sir.
like 2 key, 20% or something like that.
No, a lot more. He just got his Dokkan Awakening, right?
Oh yeah, it's that guy. I was thinking of a different Gohan.
No. He just got his Dokkan Awakening from the World Tournament. Not as good as the high school Gohan, unfortunately. Obviously it would have been much better if you could, have damage reduction and everything. But what he does is basically 70% attack and defense start of turn. Super class allies keep +3 attack and defense 30%. He gets another 10% attack and defense per attack, perform up to 58%, and he greatly raises attack and defense on super. Overall, very strong unit. And then, of course, if you place him against an extreme unit, he's even better. So, yeah, I would say he's really good, but he's just not as good as high school Gohan, and that's why we had to place him a tier down, basically, as a result.
Yeah, and I keep getting his support passive with these two mixed up. I don't know why. Yeah. But anyways, next up we have Videl, new EZA. I could see the argument for S+ tier because she is really good, but she just doesn't link with S tier Videl, so that hurts her a bit, I feel. Especially, I mean, what? No, does she have Pepe Girls restrictions? I forget.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could run her, but
actually, no, she does. She does. Sorry, my bad. Ah, man, I'm messing up. Yeah, she does. She's attacking defense 20% per Pepe Gal's ally on the team.
You know what? I'm a mover to beat here.
I mean, yeah, the only Pepe Gals you have on this team are literally just the S tier Videl at the top and then the Great Saiyaman 2+1 at the very bottom in C tier.
I'm a mover. Alright, listen, chat. So the way we do these now is we like
how did nobody notice this?
I completely blanked on because there was like what 5 EZAs and It's a lot of new units.
Okay, chat, listen. All right. So how we do this is it's not just us making this tier list. Okay, at this point, after your complaints, I will admit we have been cross-verifying it with other people when we discuss it. Nobody noticed about Videl being at us. I'm not gonna lie. I blame everybody else as well as us. All right.
No, she's going to C tier. That's my bad, chat. I mean, that's our bad, chat.
Yeah, that's our bad. We apologize. I think, yeah, now that I noticed it, it's probably C. I was thinking of S tier Pan for some reason, which was why it might have been like, oh yeah, she's definitely
I thought she just had like a flat boost with like something else. What unit was I thinking of? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, she's down there now.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Tech, not Toa, Time Lady.
Supreme Kai of Time. There you go.
That's it. She's a really, really powerful support unit. I don't think there's really much that needs to be said. She's not limited to super extreme, I don't believe. The chance to give additional attack and defense, I think it's like what high chance, and then attack and defense like 3 key, whatever, 30%. Just good support unit overall. Definitely, if you have them from the Super Dragon Ball Hero banner or just Dragon Ball Hero banner, then yeah, you're gonna want to throw them on the team. And similarly, if you have this guy and you for some reason don't have Tech Gohan, which I don't know how you would manage to do that, he's also really good. He is the, physical version of Kava, basically. Only issue is not a lot of physical units in S+ tier that aren't support unit, because there's actually none at all. You are support, so are you. I guess, like, Vegito, he'll work well with, same with, like, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, but all the physical units are primarily support units, so... Yeah, like, he's good on his own, but yeah, definitely, if we ever get another top-tier physical attacking unit, he might go up to S+.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, that is our Defenders of Justice tier list. Had to do a little bit of changing on the fly with Videl. Kind of completely forgot about her kit, but whatever. Anyways, Gail, how do you any final thoughts on this?
No, I think I can see majority of them. I mean, I have no issues. I mean, I could potentially see the argument of dropping Great Saiyaman 3 down a bit, of course, because of the lack of time travelers, but I feel like if you're running a full hero setup with like Supreme Kai of Time, the crossover units, and Goku, Vegeta, Vegito, as well as Great Saiyaman 4, you could potentially get most of his passive activated, but again, very iffy on that, hence why we put him in B tier anyways. But apart from that, I think I have to, say everything else is fine to me personally. This is what I would use if I was running. Remember, this is if we were running Defenders of Justice, and the top S+ is like the ideal team you would run, arguably, I guess is the best way to put it, right? Is put Gohan, Videl together, Jiren, Topo, other rotation, and then the 3 others are floaters or something kind of thing, or whatever, right? So yeah, that is ours, I guess. Let us know in the comment section, what do you guys think? What would you guys change here and there a bit? And yeah, Trocho, wrap it up, I guess.
Yeah, wrap